and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call, please.
Ismarski.
Here.
Nancy Vanderkin.
Here.
Ryan Milky. Mike Johnson.
Here.
Julie Nichol.
Here.
Steve Bastian.
Here. No public hearing scheduled this evening. We do have one individual that wishes to address the comment, at least one individual. I know Kent's here, American Legion baseball sponsorship. Kent?
Yes, I'm here for Derek. I'm here as fundraising coordinator for the National Legion tournament coming up in August. And I guess Derek has asked the city to help sponsor in some form or way that we can have funds to help take care of the tournament. Probably cost $25,000. Just bringing in 6 or 7 teams that would be staying in Waupun or in the area and be able to help the community, but it's also just mainly to help the drug because we have such a high expense. That's what we're here. That's why I'm here. So I don't know what the city can do, but we appreciate it.
Any comments or questions for Kent or about helping with the funding of the tournament? I know this is going to be a great event for our community. I know I've been attending a number of the Legion planning sessions, and they have a really good core group of individuals that are putting this tournament together for our community. So any thoughts about sponsorship level?
Would this be something that would be better suited, at least initially, to go to the Park and Rec Committee?
It could. Otherwise, I mean, if the council, I know that they sent out some information as to different levels. The sponsorship funding, I believe would probably come out of the local room tax, the hotel motel room tax, so would be an expense to the general fund of the city, so.
How much can we afford to help them with?
I think is the older primary sponsor was 2,500, is that? Where do you stand right now? Do you have any idea?
That I don't know for sure, Derek, because we got back and I missed the last meeting. But it's going slow right now, but I got according to Derek, we should do that in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully that picks up. I had one inquiry that the city has dealt with. Biggest thing we're looking at is if we run a successful tournament, that this would have a better chance to go out on the around, let's say, rotates through several states. And being that we have 2 facilities, actually the opposite, we all Black River Falls, that made it better for us to showcase what we have to do. That's what the best part of the whole thing. We have a better chance of hosting.
This can come out of our hotel tax?
What did we give last year? Do you remember? Was it 1,500?
Do you recall what we did for the traveling team? I think it was similar. Kathy, did you have?
So I sent to Jessica some grant information. I think it was the Department of Tourism grant for major venues like this. If you know, if you guys have done anything with that, so I can help
I haven't
you,
talked
but,
to Jessica, but it's,
okay,
I wish I would have last week.
that's okay. So
I want to get together with Derek. I talked to him this week, this the other day, about getting together, not endorsing him, but we'll probably go one.
okay. So know that that's certainly out there.
Yeah,
and,
I'm sure.
I can help you with that.
After every, I guess there's, we've got some, there's some money already set aside. Maybe looking at just getting sponsorship for the programming and also sponsorship on the tables.
think at a minimum, I think we should at least do the max sponsorship, what they're requesting, and then anything above that, you know, could reconsider that, but I think at a minimum, we should, for this type of tournament to come to our community, for the city to stand behind it. They're gonna be filling the hotels here in the community for a number of days, so.
Biggest thing is we have at least 16 to walk on and not have to leave the hotel. Expecting something like we could have our local Legion team like all the way that would have to stay. Otherwise, they're just sitting out of state. Lunch from Vegas, lunch from Kansas, lunch from Minnesota. So I mean, they're all gonna have to stay with us at least 2 weeks. But that's the biggest thing. For the community on that help with that, because we got the community know about it, get involved, help it benefit.
Do we need to, at this time, identify where we would like the funds to go to, or can we just commit to a level of funding?
I mean, Derek could make it where it goes to a certain point of, you know, what they're going to do, funds, but sure, he goes that way, let me know what they go with. There is fees from each team coming in that will help pay for most of the funds that we're telling, but then you have to feed them, you know, for all sort of stuff that the cost of coming in, so you might put in for that or other types of costs. It's all, he's still getting information from Minnesota. He's got quite a bit, all the way in terms of how much it costs for. So it's kind of trying to figure out what they're going to have to add or subtract if they can buy it. So we don't have pay too much.
You know, the reason I bring that up, I don't know if we wanted Angie to throw out the first pitch at the opening ceremony.
Well,
Absolutely.
I'm ready.
there's not something planned for that. I don't know how it's going to work out.
Throwing me in this now.
I think we got more questions than answers here that Derek would be maybe at our next meeting to answer some of these. My
They're
opinion.
tied up.
I understand.
He kind of called me at the last minute to fill in, so I can act like I said, not being at the last meeting, I think that's more problem, but yeah, he's busy, kind of tried to guys. Taking my time, but it's been a while. I understand there's questions.
I'll make the motion to, I'd like to make the motion to contribute towards the American Legion Baseball, the 2,500 at this time. Use towards the money that would come from the room tax.
Okay. I'll second.
Second. And then, as Pete suggested, possibly at our committee, the whole meeting, we have one this month or the next common council meeting of Eric or some other members of the. We got calendars. Pete has a calendar.
Pete's got the calendar.
23rd.
23rd,
3rd.
5:30.
That way, you know, depending on where the funds may be, you know, utilized, some of these may have already been spoken for, but I think. Okay, well, there's a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? A roll call, please.
Pete Kazmarski.
Aye.
Nancy Vanderkin.
Aye.
Brian Milky.
Aye.
Mike Johnson.
Aye.
Julie Nichol.
Aye.
Steve Bastian.
Aye.
Carried.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you very
thanks for being here, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
Okay.
Calendar.
Should be getting more than I forgot to ask.
Jay Groff, 18 Taylor Street. Tonight, a couple of small issues I want to chat with you tonight about. First thing on my mind is property values. In specific, there's a property at 21 Taylor Street directly across the street from me that I'm sure you're aware of. But recently had been on tax rolls and was property quite some time. The structure itself is in such horrible shape that the conditions on the sale of the property from Conway County, I'd been watching the property closely, was that it'd be raised. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about, I believe that property last time I checked was tax assessed value at about $80,000. Graphics is going to tear it down and turn it into a parking lot. Probably would have had it right around $6,000. somewhere between $6,000 and $10,000. To rebuild a house of about 1,500 to 2,200 square feet, just construction costs alone today are running about $100 a square foot. So if you're going to build a 2,000 square foot house there, including a garage, you're looking at $200,000 for construction. Nobody could afford to put a $200,000 house on that property and have it tax assessed and have it come back at $82,000. So in reality, what's the position that's been set up is the property will probably never be built on until the values around that particular piece of property rise enough and the construction costs are low enough to justify that type of construction. The reason I bring this property up is, number one, it's right across the street from me. And it's not only going to be a parking lot, it's going to be a parking lot for a commercial business. And it's got some concern with some of my neighbors. The other flip side on it, I can even live with the parking lot. I'm not that put off by that. The other concern I have is that's not the only property that's like that. We recently had 2 fires over on that end, north side on the north side of Main Street. That those properties are going to be probably in the same condition, where you're going to wind up raising properties unless there's insurance to cover it, or if the person decides they want to spend that insurance in that particular area. There's a very strong probability that you could be faced with properties and the geography of these older neighborhoods that are going to start to draw your tax revenues down. There's several things that affect property values. Obviously, number one, what's going on in real estate around it. Number two is the ability for people to go out and borrow the money and get loans to build a house or to buy a house. The third thing that comes in with that configuration that affects property values is the average income of geography. And anybody who's been tracking that knows that the average household income in this geography has not been rising rapidly, progressing, and that directly shows in real estate market values. This particular geography actually the lowest in the state of Wisconsin compared to our neighboring communities. I had those figures ran through that were kind enough to bring it to my attention as I was researching what it would cost me to rehab 21 Taylor Street. The other thing I want to talk about is the demographics of our local economy. Our local economy, as you're very well aware of, and our state legislators have actually increased our dependency on the manufacturing sector. The manufacturing sector is actually driven by wages and salary and benefits package is actually driven by the automotive industry, as many of our manufacturers around here subcontract at that. And the reason they get subcontract is because the wages and benefits, the cost of production in Michigan are too high. Those are also sinking as it starts to regress and contracts from those automotive manufacturers are not really negotiated. What happens is the local vendors say, well, this is what we think we want for our rivets or for our fuel pumps or whatever, and then these automotive industries come back and they say, no, we're going to give you this, because if you don't do it for this, we're going to manufacture it in-house. So I'm going to really ask you, as you're doing your strategic planning, to look at the different sectors of the economy, mostly the technology industry, that is actually driving higher wages and higher incomes. Most of you know that I've spent most of my life, I've been over 30 years in telecommunications. Started on patch cord switchboards, and I've worked on the installation of data circuits, DSL systems. Now, the reason I bring that up is recently you've probably read in the paper Connect America funds have been released. Connect America funds are, it's a federal grant that's going out to large monopolies that exist in the legacy telecommunications arena in order to expand broadband into rural America. These Connect America funds, my particular company that I work for accepted $55 million a year over the next 6 years. And of that, 50 million a year, or 50 million a year is coming to Wisconsin. Now, I want you to understand regulation, the regulated side of the house. Our state legislators have actually, about 5 years ago, completely deregulated the telecommunications industry. And when that happened, they thought they were going to bring in more competition and more business. But the reality is,
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but, we do basically have a 5-minute
sure.
public comment section here, so I don't know if you have a specific question or comment.
Well, the particular
direction you're going with your comments.
particular point I wanted to drive in that my company, and many of these large companies, have deemed communities not worth investing in. Exactly what I had talked about earlier. And we're literally shutting off cities the size of Rice Lake, Burl Lake, Green Lake gets some special attention. But my basic point here is I wanted to bring those issues to your attention, just for your awareness, and some things that I hope you'll consider, especially when you have properties like 21 Theater Street that are soon to be condemned. Great. Thank you.
I think just a quick point on, I think, property values. You made a statement about declining property values in the community, and I may be mistaken, but I thought that the equalized value of our properties as a whole for the city of Waupun, actually, maybe it's Dodge County specific, but had higher gains than any other community in Dodge County?
In Dodge County, equalized values, but in generally our equalized values of farmland in Dodge County increased in 2015.
And I believe specific, was it manufacturing or commercial values increased significantly
Especially in Dodge County.
especially in Dodge County, so. And I believe the property that you're talking about, Jay, on Taylor Street, I don't know if that was a condition of the county putting it on the market that they requested or required it to be removed?
It was.
So it wasn't a city decision that,
Oh, I completely understand.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that on you. I just wanted to make it clear that it wasn't coming today. I'm not saying that the property values have gone down. What I'm saying is that they've not risen as fast as what they have in the rest of the state. So I was misunderstood there. I'll make that clear.
thanks. Okay, meetings from Common Council, meetings held on January 19th. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Nancy,
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Boards, committee, and commission meetings. Any questions or comments, amendments to any of the board, committee, commission meetings?
I think I just want to make a quick statement about the rec board. We're going to be meeting at the, and taking a tour of the Christian home for possible relocation of the senior center.
Right.
That's coming up this month.
Is that the
I
fourth
believe
Monday,
it's-
right? So it's not gonna be down here? Because I have to attend that one. It's gonna be at the Christian home?
Not,
Because they won't let me out if I get there.
we, we'll know after this week.
Okay.
When the agenda comes out.
Yeah.
This is some long-term
Right.
thought regarding potential, some of the future use of facility, Christian home facility, conjunction with the possible new construction.
Okay.
I believe the time frame. Kathy, if you can share any more light on this, but I mean, the time frame. I think we're talking 2-3 years out.
Well, yes, step one would be to have a successful capital campaign. And I'll give you an update on that when we come up. And that's not tomorrow. That's a little bit out there. We've got some planning to do.
The rec board has been doing some
Some
work
discovery work, I would
and it's, it appears that it could be a good partnership, a good fit.
Our numbers have really risen since we've added more activities to our senior center, and our attendance has just been phenomenal, so, yeah, it's really exciting.
Thanks, Julie. Any other questions or comments on any of the minutes of the committee meetings? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Make that motion?
Motion by Julie, I hear a second.
I'll second.
Second by Ryan. All in favor?
Aye.
It's carried. Okay, communications. Our police chief.
Or a younger version thereof.
Any other additions, Joel, for the?
The licenses have been all approved,
Okay,
so that's all the information I have.
okay, good, thank you. Fire chief. Just out of curiosity, in those properties that Jay did mention, do you know the status of those? Are there any opportunity to have those be built, or do you think those would probably be?
As far as I know, the house will be north, I don't remember the exact address. The one that's up on the hill that burned in September. That one, I believe, was nearing settlement with the insurance company. 201 Pond Lake Street. The investigation is just about complete on our end. Spoke with the legal counsel for the insurance company today as well. They are following up with the homeowner as well, so we expect that to be closed out soon.
Okay.
Pretty full for
Good, thank you. City clerk. Anything on the election coming up next week? Just to,
What did you say?
Yeah. Dodge County does have a race, Supreme Court Justice. Fond du Lac County has Supreme Court Justice and Supervisor District 7, which includes 3 residents from Waupun running. Quite a bit of actually absentee turnout for that already.
a reminder that this is the first election for voter ID.
We did have one a couple of years back when it first came out. That was a recall, but, yeah.
Good, thank you. Library Director, Brett.
Nothing to add, Mayor.
Director of Public Works.
No, ma'am.
Upon Utilities.
Nothing to add.
Thanks, Randy. And Recreation, Julie from the board. Economic Development, Kathy.
Two quick things. You would have, I should have seen an email from Elizabeth when you get home, for the reschedule on our economic development 101 training in March 15th. So please mark your calendars. And plan to attend if you are able. A group of us attended the Fond du Lac County Economic Development Annual Evening, and Waupun was recognized, and really you were recognized for your efforts in making an investment in economic development in the region. They launched a new brand, which was actually really pretty exciting. The brand is Innovating Prosperity, so we're kind of following in the footsteps of that, I would say, and making real strides to make our community better for everyone who's here. So I'm going to pass this around if you just want to take a peruse of that. And then just quickly on the Christian home. Scrappy Award, I think is what it's called. On the Christian home, so we've been working with them pretty extensively. There's a senior high girl, Gabby Lunt, who's worked with us and got a video. She actually just talked to her today. She's made final edits, so that will be outreaching to the community. We'll be out talking in churches. I'd say they're closing in about a third of their goal at this point, is kind of the latest numbers I have. But those numbers are changing every day. So you'll see a series of communications coming from our office trying to educate people about why this is so important, why not remodel versus build. That was the column this past week. We'll be talking about economic impact and what that really means to the community, and there's a few other topics we'll be talking about. So we've also put together just a simple frequently asked questions flyer. And this is for you to have the facts. Those people are talking to you. Hopefully this spells things out, and if it's not clear on something, ask, because that's important to us, you know.
Yep.
That people really understand the facts around what the purpose of this project is. So more information will be coming out pretty much on a daily basis, but I want you to get this in your hands so that you know why this is so critical and what the process has been to take one turn into the decision to actually build versus trying to remodel, which would have been probably a more expensive option. Okay? Questions?
Do you think you'll have the video for the March meeting?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think we'll have it tomorrow, actually.
Oh, great.
And DJ's in it.
Right. Your star.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda management reports.
Make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion by Steve. Second, by Pete. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Your new business, under motions, the Mayfair Estates final plat. This is, was referred to the committee of the whole, also to the plan commission, and it was also filed with the state of Wisconsin and the county, Dodge County, and they all have recommended, there's no conditions on this plat, and they recommend that this be approved. This is a residential plat that is just south of Mayfair Street. It's Mayfair Estates plat. It would be for residential development. If you have any questions or comments, otherwise I'd entertain a motion that we adopt the final plan.
I'll make that motion to adopt the final plan.
Motion by Nancy, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I believe we have some interest in maybe a couple of those lots already. This is the final step to
Nice.
get it approved, so we can sell a couple lots off. Authorize payment of the bills.
I'll make that motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Julie, second.
I'll second it.
Second by Nancy. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Pete Kazmarski.
Aye.
Nancy Vanderkamp.
Aye.
Brian Milky.
Aye.
Mike Johnson.
Aye.
Julie Nichols.
Aye.
Steve Bastian.
And licenses. Number of licenses, Jonathan Bruins, Deidre Fosco, Waupun Hockey Association Senior Class Tournament. And those were recommended for approval. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion to approve them.
Motion by Nancy.
Second.
Second by Steve. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Okay, our future meetings as listed. That should take care of the regular agenda. We will be going into closed session under 1985 1E of the Wisconsin statutes, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, investing of public funds, or conducting other specified business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require closed session. Entertain a motion that we turn into closed session.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Julie, second.
Second.
Second by Pete. All in favor?
Aye.